Hey, welcome to the April energy forecast. Again, as I did last month, I'm going to be basically reading out what I have written for the coming month ahead. I wasn't sure this month whether I'd be able to actually record a video because, like everybody else, I am now at home full time with 2 toddlers, so that's been pretty intense. But I've got a little break here, so I'm going to quickly, if it seems like I'm reading really quickly, it's probably because I know I've got to get back to one of my toddlers. So I just wanted to share what I got for April. If you are interested in getting future monthly forecasts, just then either subscribe to my channel or you can follow me on Instagram too. And the links are down below the video, so we'll just jump straight into it. And here's April's energy forecast. So, welcome to April. There is no doubting that the guidance shared for this month is taking into consideration the recent events that we are experiencing on a global level. So pretty much all of us now are experiencing major changes in our day-to-day lives and movements. And this has come on over like a very short period of Earth time, and if we could see like where we're at now, even probably from as late as like February this year, we probably wouldn't believe that that would have actually happened. So times are changing very quickly. I think it seems to us that it's changing very quickly. The pace of change is like much faster to us now than maybe it has ever been before. And yet with this like fast-paced change, at the same time many of us are learning to, or practicing that art of slowing down and taking a slower approach and a more mindful and present approach to life. So the art of like taking life as it comes, basically, and being still for long enough to hear or receive the nudges that send us in like directions that, you know, we haven't even thought of, we hadn't even consciously thought of or planned for. So over the first half of 2020, and particularly at the moment, you might be experiencing like a roller coaster of emotions that take you from the positive side of things, so like enjoyment of all the small simple things in life, as we're kind of being guided more to focus on those. You know, more feelings of happiness and gratitude, but those are also, you know, roller coastering through those, and at the same time, and even in the same day or even in the same hour, we can be feeling the other half of things, which is obviously fear, anxiety, sadness, and also wondering how much longer you could really live like this, like living this way that we're living in at the moment, in, you know, either lockdown or partial lockdown, wherever you are in the world. So in a way it's like very similar to giving birth, and that's one of my favourite analogies, but it's very similar to giving birth in that you can't, you know, you get to a certain point where you can't go back to how things were before. When you're like, if you've ever had a baby and you know you're in labour, you reach that point where you feel like, I can't do this anymore. That's usually the point in birth of transition. And I think in birth it's more of sort of a single fixed point, whereas here it's happening at different times for different people and in different facets of your lives as well. So I think for some people, you know, this kind of transition period has started maybe towards the end of last year, and for some people maybe it's starting around now. You might be in the thick of it right now, you might be just at the beginning, or you might be sort of seeing that way out, a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel kind of feeling. So we're all at kind of different points there. Like an example is you might experience a transitional time this month about your working life and your career and how that fits into your wider life as a whole. Or maybe you might experience like a transformational process in your family life. Again, that could be something like new life, losing a loved one, or restructuring of your family unit. So this month is one where, and unfortunately because of the physical conditions and some of the restrictions that we are finding ourselves in at this time, we are, more likely to feel more and more isolated just because of the global situation at the moment. And there's a lot of phrases like self-isolation and social distancing, and we're seeing those like many times per day, or hearing those many times per day. So there's that feeling of isolation. But if we zoom out of our life, our little life picture a bit, and look at the kind of the wider picture, it doesn't have to feel isolating. And granted, it obviously will, again, the roller coaster of emotions, it will naturally feel isolating at times, but it doesn't always have to be like that. So we're maybe having to disconnect from other people in ways that we were used to connecting in before. So my example that I always think of is like, if you used to go and meet up with your friends at the pub, once a week or something for drinks, for example, that's the way that we connected with people before. But this time of like radical transformation is giving us this new space to then reconnect or connect with these people in new and different ways than maybe we did before. And again, change often feels uncomfortable, so it's not something that we can just sail into a different way of being, but it can strengthen and deepen existing relationships of all kinds, and also begin new ones too. So as we move through the month, I think this idea around strengthening and deepening relationships by changing the way we connect to other people, looking at new ways to connect to people that we have existing relationships with, that's all going to be something that we'll read about and hear about and experience more and more. And there's obviously a lot of fear around areas like money and jobs and security, rightly so. But we need to then find ways this month to kind of balance the feelings and the inevitable fear that comes up with those, with experiences of like compassion and connection. So, find the people who've made like a positive difference in your life, and you might even want to, tell them they've made a positive difference in your life. And the final point I got for this month was that, for relationships that are under strain right now, so that might be, a relationship that's under strain just because of what is going on right now. For example, a partner relationship, if you are spending a lot of time together, you might be suddenly spending a lot more of your time together in close proximity, which you're not used to. Or maybe it's a relationship that you feel is under strain, that's been a longer term thing and it's just an ongoing relationship. The question is that's arisen this month for that is, how can you change the dynamic of that relationship? So that's something to think about while we're all stuck in April. So hope that's useful to people. I will do another one next month and attempt to record it, where we'll probably still be at home to some degree, but we'll see what happens over the next month. And yeah, if you want to get future ones, then please subscribe. Otherwise I will be on Instagram, and I've also got a Facebook page as well, but I don't go on that so much. So I hope that helped, and I will see you soon.